The New York Jets had them at 4 wins last year. They get 7. A lot of that's due to Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner being just incredible in their rookie year. Sauce Gardner being possibly the best corner in the league in one season. Really ridiculous. With the additions to their offense, this team is projected at 12.5 wins, which would put them in second or tied for second at Miami. Obviously, the strength is quarterback, right? Having Aaron Rodgers, that's
pretty damn good.
There's only
pretty good.
In my opinion, there are only 3 elite quarterbacks in the NFL. Rodgers is one, Mahomes and Burrow the other 2. Now also there's like Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, they're like right at the cusp of that. But Rodgers is a year removed from the MVP. He is one of the best players in the NFL. And then the rest of this team, I'm sure we'll have Jet fans on us a little bit. When you're picking weaknesses for a 12.5 win team, we're talking about like nitpicking shit here. Their offensive line, Dwayne Brown is good. Laken Tomlinson is good. We don't know about Joe Tippmann yet. Barrett Tucker's in his second year or third year. Max Mitchell's okay. And then you have a pretty deep group in Becton, McGovern, Schweitzer, and Kajus. And Becton, when we've seen Becton when he's healthy and ready to go, could be a great player. So even their weakest spot is still better than most, right? This is a very good group. It's a very good roster that Joe Douglas put together. Receiving core with Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, Nicole Hardman. We gotta see what he can do. Corey Davis. We gotta see if Corey Davis and Denzel Mims, if they're both on the roster by the time it's all said and done. Tyler Conklin's okay. CJ Uzomah is decent. Rucker, we want to be good. And then Breece Hall looked amazing before he got hurt, and Michael Carter is a very solid running back. And then Zach Wilson as a backup quarterback is pretty damn good. This offense is incredible. This is really an amazing offense. And it's outside of Rodgers, it's definitely not led by any stars, but it's also hard to poke holes in.
Sure. No, it really is. I mean, I think, again, just getting nitpicky, outside of Garrett Wilson and Alan Lazard, I mean, Mecole Hardman is still a little bit of a question mark. I think he's super talented and has a tremendously high ceiling, but I do think he has a lower floor. Randall Cobb, I mean, he's average at best. Denzel Mims hasn't really caught on. Corey Davis, you don't know what you're going to get with him. So I do think in terms of that third target, who's going to be the guy, the running back room, I think, is super strong. I was a big fan of Izzy Abakanda out of Pitt. He's a local Brooklyn kid, so he comes to New York, and hopefully he gets some carries, especially on third down. But again, then you transition to the defense, and you look at it, and listen, there's some nice pieces that they added. Chuck Clark, who I think is a decent little player. Michael Carter in the slot they had from last year, or 2 years ago, I should say. You touched on the corners and stuff like that, but the linebacker room, little, again, getting a little nitpicky, but when you look at the body of work from Rob Saleh, right, they're going to have a really good defense, and then those weaknesses aren't going to be that exposed. They'll scheme around that. Mekhi Becton is the big question mark, I think, of this team, and then Joe Tippmann as well. And the reason I say that is, of course, it's offensive line, but Becton, I know he's done a lot of work in the offseason, and he looks fantastic, but he's still a big question mark. And then Tippmann, again, we talked about it with John Michael Schmitz and some other guys. We've seen centers have some success early, Creed Humphrey, guys like that. And Tippmann, I think, is a lot like a Creed Humphrey, where he can move in the wide zone scheme, which Nathaniel Hackett will run. But it's still a question mark, right? So I think the Jets are super talented. I think that they have a lot to look forward to this year. Again, there are some question marks, and why they're still not in that Buffalo conversation, I don't think, yet. Right, Buffalo has that really, really strong roster along with the Eagles. The Jets, what is the projection? Is it 13.5? We said here
12.5 for the
12
Jets.
and a half. So
So
I
they're
think
right below Buffalo. It's not a. This is a very any other division they run away with it. It's just the
yeah,
AFC East is very strong.
yeah, it's very strong. So I would put them at 12. I think that 12 win mark is really good. Um, and as long as they keep Rodgers upright, yeah, I think there's no doubt that they're a high seed in the playoffs and they'll make some noise.
Yeah. So I think with this team, the edge group again, be nitpicky here. The edge group doesn't have like a real star in it yet. Carl Lawson, Jermaine Johnson, John Franklin Myers, and Will McDonald all have the potential to be that. I just don't think any of them are at the moment. Carl Lawson's being paid like one, but he hasn't produced like one.
Right.
And then interior wise, Quinnen's amazing. Solomon Thomas is a fine number two. Quentin Jefferson's okay, but there's really isn't another. But the depth behind them isn't great in the interior. I do like C.J. Mosley and Quincy Williams, but again, who is like going to who's like because we've seen CJ miss time. Who the hell is going to play linebacker? Jermaine Sherwood after he
Yeah.
goes down. That's not a great. That's not what you want. And then for corner, DJ Reed gets overlooked. DJ
Yeah.
Reed is fantastic.
He's really good.
Sauce Gardner's very good. Michael Carter's very good. Um, and then in the rest of the secondary, I agree. Chuck Clark is solid. Jordan Whitehead is good. Ashton Davis is a good number three safety. Like this is a good team. This is a really good team. Um, it does suck that the best they'll probably be is a 5 seed just because Buffalo
Yeah.
should win the East. Like they should. Um, and the thing with the 12.5 projection here, it wouldn't surprise me if all of the AFC ones minus the Patriots were lowered because the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Bills are all. I think I have them all ranked in the top like 6. I think I have to look at the standings. I have them ranked all in the top 5. Like though, so like it's Buffalo at 1, the Jets at 4, Miami at 5. Like so, those guys are going to beat on each other. So someone has to win, someone has to lose, right? It's like it would not surprise me if Miami and New York or Buffalo, if all of them hit below their mark because they're just playing each other, right? Um, and I know you can make the case of like, oh, we thought about the AFC West last year. I did not. I did not think that. I did think that there were two good teams. I never thought Denver was good. Um, but I do think the AFC East is going to be it's going to be rough. It's because they're going to beat the hell out of each other for that division. I do think in the end Buffalo wins it. But man, you made the dance with Aaron Rodgers. Who cares? I just feel bad for Jets fans because they won't have any games at home, so they can't even see their playoff team. Like that they're good. That to travel
Um,
to we're a 4 seed. I guess that Jacksonville. I guess that's gonna suck. So, but the Jets are very good. This is when we talk about the weaknesses of the Jets, we're nitpicking here. Honestly, we're nitpicking for all these teams, minus the Patriots, which have honestly, I think we are lower on the Pats than any other person in media, and I think it's because people are just used to the Pats being good. But the Jets are very good. The Jets, I think, the Jets get a lot of weird hate in
they
the
do.
media. I saw someone say that they wouldn't be surprised if the Jets finish 4th. Like, I would be fucking shocked if the
Yeah.
Jets finish 4th. Like, now if you're telling me the Jets finish 3rd and they have 10 wins and Miami's 11, then like, all right, I get it. Like, it's a good division, but like, this team is gonna be great. Where they finish is really not going to matter so much. In terms of the regular season wins, is where they finish in the playoffs.
I think with the Jets, to your point, and that's where maybe just want to spark the conversation of maybe this is the type of thing where, you know, should they really be a 5 seed? Like if they have a better record than a divisional winner, I'm sorry. Like I hate that. Like I'm just so over that. Like I just think that they should get a better seed. It is what it is. And I
No,
get it.
I agree with you. I really do. I do agree. I do think every division winner should get a playoff spot, but I don't think they should get a home
Sure.
game.
Oh, no doubt. I listen, I think if, we're talking about, the AFC South, right? And let's say it's the Jaguars, and the Jaguars have a worse record than the Jets. The Jets should have the better seed. Now, the Jaguars are in the playoffs,
Yeah,
but they should then flop seeds or whatever it comes out to. It should be ranked by by
I
by,
agree.
by
I
standing.
agree. I
Right,
agree. Um I think the seeding should be totally based on win loss, not on division. I think you make the playoffs by either being a top 3 wild card or a division winner. But once you make it, then you get reseeded as again, if the Jets do, let's say the Jets have 12 wins, if they're a 5 seed, that's rough. That this is not, it's not fair to the fans
yeah.
because like, oh man, like the Jets are getting absolutely robbed. Listen, I know they'll travel well because they haven't seen a playoff game in holy fuck, how long has it been since the Jets made the playoffs?
10, 11 years maybe.
Has it been since the Sanchez years?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. All right. So since I was in college, that's a while ago. So that's rough. All right. But yeah, I nonetheless though, Jets gonna be very good. I do think they'll finish a little below the projection here. But if they're below double digit wins, I would say either Rodgers got hurt or something went totally wrong.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think so. I think for the Jets, I mean, I think you're going to get Rodgers for maybe one more year. So I think this window, and honestly, you got to hope that Zach Wilson also develops with Aaron Rodgers
Yeah,
too.
I have no faith in that. Like
I don't either.
yeah,
I
he's
don't
good.
either, but I think if you're a Jet fan, you have to hope that, right? And the last time, by the way, the Jets were in the playoffs, 2010. So even worse. I was in high school.
Fuck.
Yeah, I was in high school.
2010?
So were you, right? You were in high school too, right?
No, I was in college at that point. It was
Wow,
that
that was crazy.
that's before I met Mel though. That's long. That is a long time ago.
That's nuts.
That is holy shit. All right, well, yeah, that's a long time ago. Sorry, Jets fans, but hey, 12 and a half wins.
very
Go
cool.
Jets.
Go Jets. Go Jets.